Hello, lovely people. I can't believe that another month has already gone by. But it's end of July, and so it's time to do the monthly art journal vlog, looking at the things that I did and telling you a little bit more about the background stories about those pieces. So if you happen to watch my art journal watch along videos, you can see how those pages that I'm going to show you are coming together. And I'm pretty much talking technical stuff there only. But today with this vlog, I want to focus not on the technical stuff, but only on the background story and what drove me to make those pages. So this is the first page of the month, and it's quite different, so to say. I'm a member of the Jenny Belly Art Journal Workshop Forum, and this is actually my take on the monthly challenge. So the challenge was revisitation. There's a lot of things that artists produce that they don't like afterwards, where something just didn't work out or it didn't come together as they imagined. And you should revisit or redo those pages. That was the challenge for the month. So this is my take on it, and I'm going to show you, and if you know my vlogs, you've already seen them, that page. Gonna show you the one that inspired it. Gosh. Oh boy. I think it was in that month. So that's the one that I originally did. It's a puzzle, again, done with the Copic markers, and I wanted to try them out, and it did not work out as well as I wanted, and yeah, well, I was just unhappy with it. But I do not revisit pages because they're a testament to my weekly work on the journal and my art style and how I evolve and everything. So I did redo it, and that's what I did here. So it's the same topic. It's also a jigsaw puzzle. You can see that this hand here tries to push the blue piece to the others, and it has the same sentiment. It also says life is a huge jigsaw puzzle, but everything else I did totally different. It was more of a paper piecing job than a painting job, and I only used the Copic markers on the hand because I had meanwhile figured out how to use them and not have those streaky lines that were so ugly on the first attempt. So this was the first page. It was rather simple, but it took quite a while to cut everything down. The week after, I had a bit of a challenge because I didn't know what theme I wanted to do. And usually my art journal pages are inspired by what happens this week in my life, so it was an empty week and I didn't know what to do. So sometimes I get inspired when I do something, so that's what happened here. I put down the book pages and just put on color and tried to see a pattern. Kind of like with the Palettendreckbilder that I do. And this is what came out. So I'm a huge nerd. I love certain things that are related to sci-fi and fantasy and board games and video games and all that stuff. So this was then actually inspired by the Star Trek Into Darkness movie. And at the beginning of the movie, there is this forest of redwoods that Kirk and McCoy run through. So this these structures kind of reminded me of that, but I didn't want to make a copy of it, but go for my own alien world that has like fossil trees in it. However, the funny thing is when I posted that in the forum, with the slogan saying use your imagination because everybody can see something else in that painting, there were people that said it's a rock concert and these are hands and they're clapping, and others said that it was the Statue of Liberty on fire. So this actually happened totally by accident. I just painted the color, and before I did any outline work, I saw, well, this looks like the Statue of Liberty. Now I gotta put that in there, right? So I did, and somebody recognized it. Anyways, I was quite happy with the outcome, although this was a page that I struggled to begin with. The week after, however, was totally easy work-wise once I had this list figured out. It's again one of the Jenny Belly's challenges. And this one is the mid-month challenge that is in another life I could have been. And in the video that I did about how this page comes together, I promised that I would talk about the stuff on the list, so that's what I'm going to do now. So there's 10 things that I like very much, or that I could see myself being or doing in another life. So my number one, of course, is a board game designer, because I'm the hugest board game nerd, and I actually designed one game for my daddy's 60th birthday, which is designed or themed around his life. So I did that, so I know what the mechanics and what the work that you have to put in is when you design a board game. So I could definitely do that because I had a lot of fun with it. Also, I could be a writer, like a journalist or an author, where you write either fiction books or non-fiction books. And I'm actually, these are the two that I might even accomplish in this life. I don't even have to have another life, because I'm writing a book currently. I'm writing a novel, and I'm writing a series of short stories together with a friend. And I already, like I said, designed board games, and maybe one day when I'm retired I could actually take care of board game designing. So I'm very much into writing. I love words. I read tons and tons and tons of stuff, so that's definitely something I'm very interested in, and that is so me. Also, this is more unlikely now to accomplish in this life, so I definitely would need another one. I could be an astrophysicist. I'm amazed by space and the universe and how it works and physics and all of it. And I'm like binge watching the 60 Symbols and Deep Sky videos, the channels of the Nottingham University, that are about mathematics and physics and astrophysics and all that stuff. So I really, really love it. It's a super interesting topic. It ties into where we come from, where we are going as a human race or as a race itself. And I find it super interesting. What can I say? But I'm not good with doing physics on my own and everything, so but I'm better than, well, chemistry is actually the worst. I just don't understand it, although I find it so interesting. But anyways, number 4, I could be an historian. Just like with astrophysics, I'm binge watching anything that I could get my hands on the internet. Any documentary. I'm a huge documentary nerd. I watch them like every day, more than one of them. And history is, besides physics, one of the themes that I can't get enough of. I find it very interesting to see what other cultures did before us and how our cultures evolve and everything. So historian would be one of my occupations in another life. I could also be a chef. That's my number 5, by the way. I love to cook, and it seems that I'm not too bad at it. I enjoy it very much. I enjoy the process. I don't mind standing in the kitchen for 4 hours and preparing a delicious meal with 3 courses and everything. So I really, really like it. I'm very interested in food, how it works, how it is processed in our bodies, nutrition-wise and everything, and what you can achieve when you put a certain herb to whatever and stuff like that. So I'm very, very interested in that. That's why I could be a chef. Being a painter now and doing some illustrations for stuff, but more like for me on this level. I'm not publishing them yet. I could be an illustrator. Maybe of a children's book, or I don't know, of a fairy tale, a graphic novel, something like that. And I'm actually working on something for quite a while now, and I'm not ready to publish it. That's why I'm not going into detail into that, but maybe that's the door opener to the world of illustrations, even in this life. So my number 7 is a kindergarten teacher, because I think the most important age for kids to be schooled and trained and everything is the first 6 years of their lives before they go to primary school. So I think that on kindergarten teachers, besides the parents and the families and everything, the responsibility that they carry and that they have is humongous. And I experienced kindergarten teachers when I was a kid that were awesome. So it's a hard job, but I think you could be very proud of yourself if you do it right and you school the future generations in a way that does not make them self-destructive or arrogant or whatever, but gives them a good human way of living and manners that everybody can live with. And so parents in today's crazy world not being the only ones to raise their kids, but having help from kindergarten teachers or teachers in later schools or colleges. They all help along. So I think a kindergarten teacher, I could do that. And I actually love kids. So I really would enjoy that. If I wouldn't be human though, I could definitely be a turtle, and that's my number 8. I love turtles. They're my favorite animals. They stayed the same for over thousands and thousands of years. They are able to live in a world that changes so much and still stay pretty much the way that they were hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years ago. So I find that admiring. Also, they're calm animals. They're not too aggressive. So I really like turtles, and I think I could be one. Another thing that pretty much ties in with the physicist and the historian is my next topic. It's archaeologist. Especially when you come to history, I find it very, very interesting and important work to recover what former civilizations and animal lives were on this planet. How did we evolve? Where do we come from? All of these questions pretty much tie into these three topics on my list, and I again binge watch documentaries about that topic. So I'm really interested in that. Number 10 is a winemaker. I could be a winemaker, and this is why I have the design of a vineyard in the background. I don't drink too much alcohol, but I drink alcohol. And the one I love the most is red wine. I don't fancy all of the stronger liquors and cocktails and all that stuff, but I fancy a really decent, good wine. And I would love to have a small vineyard and produce something from the plants of the earth that is as yummy as certain wines that I tasted throughout my life. And I would, I guess, really enjoy just the hard work but peace and quiet, and having a rhythm that is dictated by nature and not by technology. So that's my number 10. And it's actually one of the more important ones to me. So this is my list that week. And now we move on to the next page because there's 2 more left. So the week after, like I said, I'm a huge nerd when it comes to fantasy and to reading and writing and all of that. So this page is actually inspired by a book that was published finally after 4.5 years in my country. The Diana Gabaldon Highland Saga. I've been reading those books since whenever they came out. The day they were published, I bought them. I was hooked on that series, like within seconds, and I really loved all of the books. So the last one just came out on July 21st in Germany, because although I'm reading English books, I'm a German, so I read them in German, but I have the audiobooks in English, because the narrator is just better. Usually. And I actually like to have both languages just to get more and more fluent. So this is my take on the Outlander series. Also, I heard that on August 2nd the TV show Outlander actually starts, and I hope it's coming to Germany. So this is a tribute to the complete Highland Saga. I do have the time travel elements in here represented by the clocks and the old gnarly tree that could stay alive if it's an oak for more than 200 years, and that's the time span in the books. And I also have like a sunset scenery, a landscape that could easily be in Scotland, on the hills where you have the lake and you look over the lake, or the loch, now I forgot my train of thought. Wow, how's that? So it could easily be in Scotland, it could be a sunset scene, and that tree could actually stand there. I did not I did not draw the stones, because I think a tree, at least to me, a tree could age more obviously than stones. So I did not take the stones of Craignadown. Also, I wrote down a quote from the 5th book, That's actually something that Jamie, one of the main characters in the book, says, and it reads, "For where love is, the speaking is unnecessary, it is all, it is undying, and it is enough." And I found this quote most beautiful. This is what a good relationship or a marriage should be, no matter what the circumstances are. So this is my take on that and my tribute to Diana Gabaldon's book series. And the last one is for this week. And this is again inspired by a board game. So we kickstarted Machina Arcana, and we got the game and we played it, and it plays in an H.P. Lovecraft steampunk world. And the story and all of the game and everything is done so beautifully that it really sparked my brain and inspired me to do something steampunk, but not in the same style as everybody does, or in the style that the game was made in. So first look, I think she looks like a steampunk girl, but second look, she could also only be a magician. With the stars and the wavy hair, if you take away the goggles and the monocle, I think she could just be a fairy tale or magician person in whatever scenery. So I really like steampunk, but I can only deal with it for a certain amount of time. I can't immerse myself in that world as I could in other worlds. But I find it very interesting. I find it very detailed, like and real. Like in steampunk could exist and work with physics on our planet, and there we come back to the physics. And it's there's not much magic or weird laws that you have to invent to make this world work. It could happen right now, and I like that about the world because it connects to reality. On the other hand, the costumes and everything in that world looks kind of magical or like out of a fairy tale. So I would also like it if there were some laws of physics that would be broken by the steampunk world and how stuff works in their universe. So anyways, I very much like this design, and I think it's a nice closer for the month. And so I think I'm just gonna wrap it up right now. I guess I talked quite a bit, and I hope you enjoyed it and liked the way into my brain for what actually inspires these pages that are so different every week. I do have the same mediums over and over, but what they are and what they look like and how I put the media together, it's so different every week that it surprises myself sometimes. So I guess to do that you have to have a weird brain, and you just gotta look right into it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I see you next month for the August, talking about what inspired my pages, and I can't wait for the new Jenny Belly for challenge, monthly challenge that will probably fill exactly the next page, because next week it's already August. Imagine that. So I say goodbye, take good care, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I would be very happy to answer any of those. So I'll see you, and goodbye.